Okie dokie nerds, welcome to another vintage video. Today we're playing Dredge. Ignore the Tamiyo search. We're playing Dredge. This is a user who came third in a challenge recently, or a list that came third in a challenge recently. And it's a bit different to normal. There's no bridges, no therapies, none of that. We're just on like maximum dredges with 4 thugs and 4 shells. We've got 4 griefs, 4 negations, 4 forces, 4 interaction. We've even got 4 noxious revival in the main deck. So it's just all 4 of all the way down except for our restricted cards and strip, misstep, grave troll, and chalice. So we even get a main deck strip mine, which is quite cool. This deck got third in the challenge. We're going to run it through a league: 4 sickening shoals, 4 vigors, 4 ley lines, 3 wastelands. No messing around, just write down the card name, put a 4 next to it, and move on with your life. So we're only really killing with Ichorids and Chills if our opponent tabs us across the 75. The list looks fine. We'll see how we get on. Yeah, we're going to run it through a league, and I'll see you for round 1. Okay, then round 1 with Dredge, and we're going to take a mulligan. And we'll keep this. So one nice thing about this list is we do have 8 forces in here. What do we drop here though? One of the Dredges or one of the Ichorids? I guess we've just got to cut one of the Ichorids, because if we get wasted we want more Dredges. We're up against Asi ASY. They're on Alurus Saga by the looks of things, based on the companion. Yeah, it is Alurus. Interesting. So Mox Sapphire, there's a Saga, Vexing Bauble. I guess we force the Bauble just in case we draw a Grief. And we'll take our turn. They do have a Saga, which isn't ideal for the home team, but see how we get on. We did draw the Grief, and we did draw the second Saga, or second Bazaar, so that's quite nice. So let's go Imp, Thug, Ichorid, and then we'll pitch cast this Grief to try and take their follow-up. And we'll pray that 2 Bazaars can overcome whatever they're doing. They've got a Wasteland, so at least we get to eat their Saga, or they don't Wasteland us. That's going to be the joke here, right? If they play Wasteland and Wasteland us, their Saga's dead. So, ding dong. Oh, okay. That's not the best draw for us to see, to be honest with you. So Ichorid goes off. I will eat the Grief. And we won't Dredge. We'll just take a draw. I don't know why I did that, actually. That was wild. Not played Dredge in a while. I was really like, I need to protect my Bazaar, but my Bazaar's in my hand. Okay, right. A little bit of an awkward start. So Stinkweed Imp. Stinkweed Imp. And then that was it. Okay, cool. That was weird, wasn't it? I was just like, yeah, no, actually I'll just take a card draw. Not sure what happened in the brain. But next turn we're going to get a lot of stuff into play, unless of course they're playing like a main deck Soul Guide, which a lot of these decks aren't at the moment, these Lurus Saga decks. Yeah, there's a Lotus. And another Strip, that's fine, I think, at this point, unless there's some Graveyard Hate in their hand. I don't think the Strip Mine's going to affect us too. Obviously it's going to affect us, but we're going to be a bit slower. But we're going to attack them for 3 this turn, and then we're going to put 2 Amalgams at least into play. The opponent has nothing to do. They're still holding a billion lands. Imp can eat a shell, or Ichorid can eat a shell. That's going to trigger 2 Amalgams. Then we'll Dredge 5 with a Stinkweed Imp. Hit a Narcomoeba, so yes please. And our board is suddenly very big. I've not hit any Chills yet, which I would quite like to do at some point soon. We did hit a bunch of Ichorid food. One of our Ichorids is on the bottom. And these Lurus decks aren't great at killing creatures, so should be in a decent spot from here on out, unless I feel like it's Vault Key or Bust for them at the moment. But the presence of Undercity Sewers makes me think that they're on like the mogged list, which doesn't play the Vault Key combo. It's just very much like, I'm going to attack you with my bowmen. Oh, triple white here. Buys Lurrus. Okay, that's not going to do anything. Ichorid eats a grief. Stinkweed Imp gets dredged. There's a chill, and the chill doesn't quite wrap it up. Opponent falls to 1. And now it's their turn to come up with something pretty exceptional, really. Which I don't know if that exists. No, cool. It doesn't exist. So what's their sideboard plan these days? They've got Tabernacles, and they've got Cages, Soul Guides, and Crypts. Do we want a couple of shoals for, like, Lurrus or something? Maybe. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. So we can cut the Chalice for sure, because they're on 2 Mox and a Lotus, and then up to 4 Vexing Baubles. I think the shoals are a bit of a joke. Thug's always trimmable. We need 4 shells post board for the Vigors. Well, I do like cutting a couple of forces against them, because I don't believe that their spells have much text a lot of the time. Or maybe I'm supposed to keep 3 negations and trim the griefs. Something like this. So we can kill. The problem is their artifact, their graveyard removal is all activatable at instant speed. So the Vigors are a bit weak against Lurrus Saga here. I think what we need to have happen is they keep a hand which is slightly slower, maybe reliant on tab rather than an artifact hate piece. We'll keep this, we'll bottom an amalgam. Let's see what they come with. One issue is like the 4 Vexing Baubles in their deck, right? That's a Soul Ring. That's a Vexing Bauble. Okay. It's not ideal. Not ideal at all. So now their hate piece is just in play until they counter the Bauble. Our hollow one is kind of dead. Play a Bazaar and activate it. And we've got Amalgam, Ichorid, Narc. There's good discards here, I think. So we've got a Wasteland for a Saga. If they decide to cycle the Bauble, we've got both Hollow One and Vigor in the waiting in the wings. They've got a Wasteland. Okay. And then they just buy Lurrus, I guess. Oh no, Lurrus isn't in their deck. Interesting. Merchant Scroll. Okay. Okay, so that's really weird. Why is Lurrus not here? What happened to Lurrus? Merchant Scrolls for Ancestral. And passes. Well, if we can draw a Strip Mine this turn, that would be kind of sick. I'm just going to take a draw step. I'm not going to bring back the Ichorid. It's a Noxious Revival. Cool. Let's play a Bazaar. Activate a Bazaar. Stinkweed Imp, Negation, Noxious can all go away. I'm holding on to this Hollow One for dear life at the moment. Another Wasteland. Before Ancestraling is funny. And then the Ancestral. And then we're kind of bodied if they play a Crypt, right? No, they didn't play a Crypt. We will leave Ichorid where it is for now. We'll dredge a Stinkweed Imp. See if we can hit anything good. We cannot. And then I think we'll just pass the turn and hold the Wasteland for a Saga day. Yeah. So they've got 7 cards, but none of them did anything last turn. That's an Urza Saga, which we've got the Wasteland for. 3 mana to realise you didn't reveal Lurrus at the beginning of the game. Yeah, perfect. And I get to eat a Shambling Shell and bring back 2 Amalgams. So that's some power and toughness in play. We know their Saga's not resolving as well. So then we'll dredge the other Shambling Shell. No reason not to. Hit nothing. Slay for 3. And then we can Wasteland our opponent. Put 2 3/3s into play. I think that puts us in a relatively good spot from here on out if they continue to just durdle around and do nothing. They don't crack the bauble because I just don't think they can. They need a second Saga. Time Twister. Well, that's obnoxious. Actually, I've got 6 power in play, so it's not so obnoxious, right? I can draw Bazaars again. No, you can't. And they find Underground Sea. This was like the Nutlow hand, though, wasn't it? Look at this. This is shit. And Archimega will attack for 6, and then we'll just discard the Thug. So Golgari Thug goes away. Opponent does have 7 cards, and they're far more likely to be able to use their cards than we are, seeing as we can't use any of our cards at the moment. Strip Mine probes me, sure. We're going to start dredging you in a moment, so they need to come up with an answer to both 2 Amalgams and a Golgari Thug. Looks like they've just completely opted out of drawing Graveyard Hate today, which is quite cool. Bink in for 6, they go to 5. Oh, no, I lied. Oh, Bowman. Sure. No drama there. It's going to delay it a bit. Okay. Taking the 3, trading everything off. And I just discard the Thug again. Interesting block. I assume it's good. Because it means that they're not dying this turn. So yeah, that does seem good. Well, they're probably not dying this turn. They need another one though. To stay alive in case I hit a chill, yeah. So we move to combat. They need another Bowman to bink the Ichorid with. And the problem with another Bowman here, not a problem. Obviously it's very good because it's going to keep them alive. But they bink the Ichorid. Good God, the road. They bink the Ichorid, they don't take any damage. The Amalgam comes back. I will discard the Thug because I'm probably going to eat it. I don't believe they can get Undercity here. Oh, they're going to vamp for some hate. Okay. So that's probably going to body us pretty hard. Although they've still got this nonsense to contend with. And if we just draw a Dredger, we're back online as well. Tabernacle at Pendle Vale instead of hate. Okay, interesting. So Ichorid won't eat anything. Is that true? Ichorid won't eat anything. No, I don't think Ichorid eats anything. I think we just lean on our dredges for maximum looks at chills. I've only used 1, I've got 4, right? Although they can consign to memory if they've got that, can't they? Missed on chills again, but we did hit double Ichorid for next turn if we able to get that far. Yeah, I'll just discard a Serum Powder and hold one Dredger behind. Opponent does pay for the Bowman, so they feel like it's useful. Wasteland doesn't do anything. I'm done with playing lands. Double Ichorid's a problem for them. Creeping Chills are a problem for them. 3, 4. What the fuck is this? 5 mana in black. I don't believe it. So 3, 4. So it looks like a Lorien revealed. Tapping in some sort of excruciating way. Lorien's fine. They've got 5 cards, and they've just conceded the game, so they can't beat the double Ichorid this turn. Weird game, that last one. Like, they just need to find a Soul Guide Lantern at some point. Like, and it's all very easy for them. But hey ho, we fucked up on the very first draw step of the match and league, which is pretty big game, really, pretty good. It shows you the quality content you're gonna get for the next hour or so. Okay, round 2, we're up against CRK. We're gonna powder away this hand, and we're gonna keep the one with Grief double Hollow One. Sounds good. Sounds good. Do we Hollow One or do we lead Grief? What does CRK play? I think they've beaten me in every one of my last 10 videos. I just can't ever remember what they play. But this looks like a cracking hand. I wonder if I'm supposed to Grief first or Bazaar, decide, and then Grief. Do I bait with Hollow One or do I bait with Grief? I guess if my opponent doesn't reveal Lurrus, we need to lead Grief. Does that make sense? My opponent reveals a Lurrus. They didn't. So what's scary for us? Nothing's going to play Force of Will and Tabernacle in the main deck. So we can just lead. We can just lead Grief after the activation. So we're pretty much discarding the 2 cards we draw plus the Imp, right? 2 cards we draw plus the Imp. Wow. Do I want to Grief them or do I want to force them? What I can actually do is I can do it all right. I can Grief on turn 2 and force on turn 1. So Imp, Chill, Grief goes away. Cast Hollow 1, cast Hollow 1. Don't fight the Hollow Ones. Upkeep, do nothing. Dredge back into a Grief. Cast a Hollow 1. Opponent ponders on Hollow 1. They've got Force of Will. See if this helps us any. Pitching Force of Negation. Okay, so as we said, we don't fight. Just cast another one. And that gets through. And now we're basically going to strip their brains out because we're going to Force of Will whatever they do here. Even if it's affecting ball, I don't care. It's just good gameplay, you know. It's our graveyard. We've only got the 1 Dredger, which might be an issue because I plan on pitching it to this Grief on my main phase. The opponent did mulligan and now they've only got 4 cards after forcing us. So Delta into C to start with. Is it Doomsday? No, it's just sorcery speed fetching. So that's cool, that's cool. And then a check to see whether I'm present or not. Okay, they've just conceded. Cool. No Lurrus means we probably don't need ley lines, we need the Vigors though. We need, well, regardless. And then, do we want some Wastelands? Maybe 1. and then maybe we can hedge with a couple of shoals, something like this. But I think, to be honest with you, let's reset our thoughts here. So I think if we're doing that, right, no Loris fetch a C, force pitching force, I feel like that's like a real doomsday gamer if ever I saw one. At which point I'm less interested, and maybe possibly slightly interested in Wastelands based on our configuration here. But I want the Vigors, I don't need the Thug. I think we're up against Doomsday is what I'm slowly trying to say. And then, yeah, maybe the Wastes can just go. So I've got 2 more cards to bring in. Do we really need to care about Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale? That's my big question. I think the answer's no. 4 Noxious is wild to me. Let's try this out. I don't know if we need these against Doomsday. I'm assuming we're up against Doomsday. We could still be up against Bug, right? At which point the Sickening Shoals would be off the charts good, as with the 4th Revival. But I'm not sure we need to care about that. Okay, game 2 up against CRK. And we've got a powder hand. So let's click powder. Nothing good here. We'll go to 6. We'll go down to 5. Opponent's gone to 6 at least. So yeah, I've hedged that they're playing Doomsday. But I could be easily duped because they're playing Bug, I think is where we're at the moment. Keep this. I'm going to drop the Force and I'm going to drop the Stinkweed Imp. Keeping the shell because it's green, right? In case we draw a Vigor and they leyline us here. Looks like they're going to leyline us here. But at least we'll find out what deck they're on this time round. Because they're going to have to kill us, or at least display some information. Oh, Mox Emerald, okay, so they are Bug. And Wasteland, sure. So let's just top deck a Vigor and call it a day. Vigor. So unlucky. I think I still play the Bazaar out and give it a spin, because Hollow Ones are good here. Okay, 0 patience from the opponent. I don't care about these 3 cards, I think. Cool. So we sideboarded poorly. Oh no, I should have discarded the Revival, because now the game's going to want inputs. Never mind. Yeah, there's no reason for the opponent to wasteland there, right? Because they could draw Island Oko, and they can give me another activation. If they're holding permission, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. The Bazaar's not really threatening into the ley line. And they can always wasteland me at sorcery speed. Okay, that's some sideboarding strategy. So, yeah, let's pass the turn. Maybe punting the Bazaar away there isn't fantastic, but I don't think it... I feel like the fact that I can find myself a Hollow One there makes it pretty good. And I'm not sure at what point I want to grief. I don't think it's yet. I think if they have an Oko, they have an Oko, and we just die. That's absolutely fine. The main thing is we want to be able to do some top decking where we grief through our Vigor, right? That's the main thing. We've got no Sickening Shoals in our deck, so that's going to be a feature here as well. We can grief next turn just regardless, just so that we're not discarding too much to hand size. They do connect with the Frog though, so that probably kills us, this first Frog connection. Why is Collector Reef here? Can someone... This is just a Grizzly Rare Bear with downside in this matchup. Looks like they're paying costs to play their Oko out. Oh no, it's just another Another grizzly bear that stone rains our opponent. So let's just take a look at their hand quickly and then go to the next one. So they discard a ley line. And show us a land. A tabernacle. Cool. Right, so we're up against Bug, which is never good for us. But it means we can bring in the Sickening Shoals. And the Noxious. Maybe even some Wasting Strips. I don't know. A couple of negations. I don't care too much about Misstep. And then just trim off on the threat side of things. 4 Sickening Shoals is also quite insane, right? So let's just, I think we're just going to shave across the board. There's only 3 cuts from this nonsense, so... What lands do they have that actually matter? They've got that one tabernacle. Can I realistically go down another thug? How many dredges would that give me? 10, 11? Yeah, I like 11 dredges. That sounds great. I've already trimmed an Ichorid. I'm not sure. Negations aren't great, but they do counter a Force of Will. Let's trim a Chill. That's never gone wrong before. Okay. We're on the play. Obviously, they've got turn 0 ley lines if they want them. 2 powders go away there. And just mono dredges all the way down. Opponent's going to have a ley line. We're going to need to find a Vigor on the first activation. That's typically how this matchup goes. We have got Sickening Shoal if they decide that they can beat me with a Deathrite Shaman. And let's see what they've got. Bug's always horrible. So it's just got just enough, right? And their main deck's pretty good against you with Deathrites and Wastelands. So if they can slow the game down enough, they can usually eat through all your dredges or eat through all your Narcomoebas and Ichorids or something like that. I was really surprised that they had Collector Reef in post board. I mean, it stopped my powder from producing mana. So there's that. Okay, opponent keeps 7. Opponent puts a ley line into play. Which is pretty crap, really. We're going to play our Bazaar and give it the old activation. So Force of Will is sure is cool. I don't know if I want to... I just discard triple imp here? Guess so. And then our Bazaar gets wasted. But we've got green card and black card in the Shambling Shell. And then if we do manage to top deck a Vigor, force it through, and somehow have a Bazaar of Baghdad in play, we can discard the Grave Troll after. And we'll have our best dredger. We'll let them have Black Lotus. And there's always that thing as well, post board. Obviously, Bug is not a deck which has much in terms of power. But there's always the argument of, do you want your Chalice? Because no Bug player has ever opened up with less than 3 zeros in their opener. So it's one of those weird things with the way the Magic Online hand shuffler works as a Bug player. You know? Is it worth it? That's all mostly in jest. And the reason I'm letting everything go is just we need to draw to some sort of hate piece. So we'd rather try and use our permission to force through our hate pieces rather than fighting their development, right? based on what we've seen from our opponents so far, they're just going to play a Collector Roof here. Oko Thief of Crowns. Maybe that's one that we actually do need to fight over. Having said all of that, maybe this one's one we need to fight. Yeah, I'm gonna pitch to it because at the moment we're on exactly hollow ones to win us a game. They've probably got to let this through if they're holding a force, because they can't afford for me to have a vigor. Although vigor's definitely spoken up by now, so that maybe that's not relevant. Okay, yeah, they let the Oko through. Well, they let the force through. They got 6 cards in hand, having played 5 of them. We're gonna activate again, so we need to do something. That's a hollow one, so we'll just guard Narc, I guess Grave Troll at this point, and Shambling Shell. It's a hollow one for us. And I'd be surprised if they do force this, because they just let the Oko go through, right? Which, if you're scared of hollow one to the point that we're forcing them, just resolve your Oko. And the hollow one can't beat an Oko, so. So back to the opponent. The opponent figures us pitching Collector Roof. Sorry, I paused it because our opponent's not particularly fast at playing. And they figured us. Still confused about Collector Roof. Isn't it just -4 Collector Roof plus 4 ley lines? And suddenly your deck's busted. Let's activate, because we need more. It's not really it, is it? Let's go back to them. Deathrite can hang out for a while, I think. I don't think we need to be out there doing anything about Deathrite Shaman whilst we have no graveyard. Opponent fetches, which means they're going to get to eat something, which probably means they're going to play an Oko or a Leo. Leo we have to kill. Yeah, so Leo comes in. We'll take a draw step first of all. Now we'll kill Leo, and if we get negated, then it's my own fault, but negation is not usually in decks against us post board, so it's fairly free to do. And a lot of this is relying on the idea that we untap with our Bazaar as well. Force of Will pitching Psychic Frog. Cool, right. I'll see you for round 3. Okay, round 3, we're up against Neuchâtelia. And that's all I know so far. Okay, so starting hand and Ichorid, 2 Ichorids bite the dust along with our Chalice. Then we drop to 6. Then we drop to 5. Our opponent looks to be doing some mulliganing as well. Why did they get priority there? They're doing the game with 6 cards in hand. We're going to powder this. We'll keep an imp. No, I think I'm going to actually keep 2 amalgams. Or 1 amalgam. Okay, let's think about this then. So no dredges have gone, so we can just keep a threat in our deck. And powder it like this. And now we've got a forced dredger, noxious. This looks great. We've lost 2 Ichorids, an amalgam, and a hollow one. I think that's okay. We should still have enough to get through. Opponent on 6 cards to commence with. No Lurus revealed. So 6 cards could be a Bazaar Mirror. Could just be anything that's mulliganed because their hand was crap. But I feel like there's weighting towards something like Mono White or Bazaar of Baghdad, right? That would be my opinion. Okay. Opponents on the play, not ideal. They've got a Mishra's Workshop, also not ideal. Patchwork, Autom. I think we can go around that. I think I want to fight the spheres. No spheres, no follow-ups. Wild. So that means we're going to be able to keep a fight over a sphere next turn, like a lodestone or something, and keep up a Force of Will and a Noxious Revival. Or 2 Noxious Revivals. 2 Force of Wills. Interesting. So let's drop the Thug, the Chill, and then I guess one of the Revivals. Because they're not going to resolve a spell this turn. And then we're going to go to a Noxious Hour, Bazaar back on top of our deck. And then we'll get a good activation. Maybe, yeah, I think that's fine. They've got 4 cards in hand, 5 after their draw step. I can see keeping single Force, double Noxious there. But I think this is just better. Urza Saga's a bit annoying. And there's a lodestone. Oh, whoa, Ico Wellspring. Yeah, bro, you got it. So we're not up against shops at all. Well, we are, but you know what I mean. Oh, is this like the... Is it some KCI shite that Justin played the other day? Not saying the deck's shite, just that, I think that's what it is. Okay, they attack us for 3. And I think this is the sort of matchup where we can chill on our upkeep. We can just take a draw step and dredge our Thug. And then we hit Grave Troll and Imp, and we're off to the races whilst maintaining the 5 cards in our hand. So that's a lot of damage and a lot of creatures. 0 amalgams, obviously. So you take 9, I gain 9, and then I put 2 1/1s into play. We didn't hit our strip mine either, so we can't even strip them next turn. But we might just not need to, right? We hit 1 Ichorid. We might just be able to drive through this saga. So what happens if I Noxious my Creeping Chill that I discarded earlier? We burn them for 3, they go to 8, they go to 6. They get to block the Ichorid. So they go to 6, and then we're on a very slow route to victory with these Narcs. It makes sense that we only hit 1 Ichorid so far because I exiled 2, didn't I? Opponent's got more cards. They get another saga, that's fine. Time Vault. Yeah, can't imagine we let that one through. To pop that in exile, so they have to have a Khan. 2 cards for the opponent. They're just going to use their mana to make a token. And then they're going to attack us for 5. I go to 21, so I can't imagine I'm blocking there. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to take my draw step. Oh no, I'm going to bring back this nerd here first of all. I'm going to take my draw step and dredge a troll. 17 cards. That's another Ichorid, so let's just do Stinkweed Imp here. Oh, hang on, Stinkweed Imp puts me down to 7 cards, which is quite an awkward number. Stinkweed Imp Shambling Shell puts me down to 9 cards, which gives me my entire deck off an activation and a draw step next turn. Nothing came of it. How much are they attacking me for? Not an awful lot. So I'm just going to suicide in the Ichorid. Hit them for 2, they get a 9. Well, actually, the Noxious Revival means I have 10 cards, doesn't it? So, but we know that Amalgam is a bottom card, is that right? And then the whole question here is, do they have like a main deck Soul Guide or something? So if they've got a main deck Soul Guide, probably just die. Did we exile Strip Mine earlier? Oh, that's why I haven't milled that as well. Paying close attention. Right, so they get a Lotus, they get the 18th Saga of the day. Fine. And they play a Khan, which continues to not resolve. I just need... Saturday mornings are kind of tough, you know, for the brain to function. Saturday morning's not a classic brain operating moment for me. So that's a Scrap Trawler. How many Ichorids have I got? Just 2, isn't it? Shit. We might be in danger. So let's Noxious our Creeping Chill. What do we want Noxious and Narcomoeba? I haven't got one of those. Okay, let's Noxious Creeping Chill then. Go to our upkeep. We'll bring back the 2 Ichorids. This is where the bridges would be really busted, right? We will Dredge a Thug. No, we'll just Dredge a Shell as we planned. Narcomoeba and Creeping Chill. Nice. So opponent falls to 6. How much are they attacking me for next turn? A bit too much. So let's attack with the 2 Ichorids. And hope that they don't have like a trampling equipment in their deck. So we do get to trade with the Scrap Trawler. Can I gain anything from dredging here? I've got an Amalgam, and then 1 there. So there's 1 left in my deck somewhere. So I can activate later and get double in their second main phase and get more Amalgams into play. So I would go something... Oh no, because the Amalgam's the bottom card, isn't it? Because I think I bottomed Amalgam in the first turn. All the Chills have gone, all the Narcs have gone. So we're just blocking and praying that the Ichorids work, I think. Oh, and I've got Amalgams now. Cool. Yeah, I don't think I can get to my other Amalgam. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I've just lost 3 points of power in a spot where 3 points of power would be a really big game. But my understanding of where we currently are is that my deck doesn't matter. Because I think I've got 6 complete blanks, and then Amalgam, and the Amalgam can't come back into play. So opponent continues to make things which are very big. Do they have one of those equipments in their deck? They're holding a Lotus because the Scrap Trawler died. They've got a Vexing Bauble, so they can't cast their Lotus. So that's cool. So they're stuck on 3 mana now for the rest of the game. Yeah, Vexing Bauble resolves. So then they can't get into like a KCI or something. They can't play the Scrap dude, and they've died. Nice. Yeah, cool. I imagine Vigor's good in this matchup. I think they played a Glaring Bloke as well that Miharu beat me with last time I played Dredge. don't think I care about wastelands and strip mines. So trimming nonsense. 2 shoals is probably fine. Misstep looks like it's probably dead in this matchup. Is there space for me to want to bring in another wasteland? Maybe the Griefs go. We'll bring in some wastes. And noxious. So max green, minimal interaction, but we do have the important bits, right? The turn 1 forces, and then some vigors and stuff. Vigors and a shoal to kill whatever's left over. That kind of makes sense. It's an interesting build because it's just these are the cards that we play and there's 4 of them. Whereas usually there's, you know, we know that Cabal Therapy is pretty bad post-board against leyline decks, for example, because you need your deck to be operating for your therapy to be good. And that's number 1 priority in those matchups, is to make a deck operational sort of thing. So this hand's great. We'll keep this. What did we lose this time around? Just 2 forces and 2 shells? And a chill. 1 chill. Okay. So Ancient Tomb. Ooh. Big money gaming. 5 mana. The 1 ring. Okie dokie then, sir. You got it. So they've got protection from me on a turn cycle that I can't hurt them. So I feel like we both got something out of that. I would like to draw a Force of Will. I didn't, but so let's go with these 3 cards here. And then we'll cast Hollow One. And then we'll cast Hollow One. And we'll pass. It's a pretty good start. We've got a nice diverse graveyard here. They need to probably come up with something like a kill right now. And the thing about Noxious Revival is it will be able to interact with Scrap Trawler as well. In a relatively positive way, especially now that they tap their ring, right? They do some KCI stuff, which I think is what they're doing. Mystic Forge, okay, that's like another 1 ring. Aren't they just dead? I've got Bazaar in play. I'm attacking you for an 11. You're at 12. Yeah, cool. So they're just going to die to their 1 ring and their upkeep unless I hit a chill, at which point, you know, they'll die before they get an upkeep. So Stinkweed Imp. Thug. Bing, bing, bing. Yeah, we win. Cool. So we would have hit a chill as well. Cool. I'll see you for round 4. Okay, round 4 up against Siggy 1985. We're on the play and we've got the stones, so we'll keep this. And this is a pretty good opener. My one concern is that Siggy plays a lot of bug, which isn't the dream, as we know. So we'll find out though as we go. They might just be on something different because we are in a league, so a nice place for them to branch out and play something new. I've got to keep the Amalgam, contractually obliged. So let's play these cards. Let's cast a Hollow One. We've got a second Bazaar of Baghdad. So I feel like we can overcome anything. So they are on bug. What's bug going to do main deck that I'm going to give a fuck about? They're going to wasteland me. Oko I care about. Oh, sorry, so they've now got 5 cards in hand though, so like land, 2 bits of power, Deathright Shaman, Oko. If their land's a wasteland. On colour power for the Deathright, definitely. Do we want to force back? I think we could actually. Although what about main deck Vigor? Then we just down cards now. Let's just fight what they do. Let's let them invest some mana. They've got a Wasteland, I've got a second Bazaar. Get absolutely wrecked. I won't bring back the Ichorid this turn. He can chill out until we find some more dredges. We'll dredge a Grave Troll. It's a Narcomoeba. Play a Bazaar. And Stinkweed Imp. And a Thug. Cool. Good, fun stuff. Do we hit any Ichorids? No Ichorids. Oh no, there's an Ichorid at the top. Oh yeah, because I ignored it this turn. Dorp. Okay, so opponent needs another Wasteland. They've got it, that's fine. I've got a Graveyard already. There's already like 20 odd cards in there, so let's just, well, we can just slow dredge from dead from this point. It's not going to be too difficult to do. Opponent's at 13, opponent's at 9. Still no amalgams other than the one in our hand. And this is the point of the game where our opponent's got to start investing mana into cards, and we've got a Force of Will sitting and waiting just to cement everything. There's their Death Right. This is my Force of Will. And that should be good. So Ichorid eats Grief. Stinkweed Imp comes back. You take 4 and go to 4. I have got 4 cards in hand, but I've got 2 Ichorids now. And that should be a perfectly acceptable amount of Ichorids for us to close out a game, I think. Oh, no. Here comes the power. Sorry. I forgot about that part. Black, black, black. From the Lotus. Is that DT? No, it's a Bowman. Bowman's going to stop the 2 Ichorids. I spoke too soon. They cycle a Lorien. And player C. Cool. This is peak bug, this is. Peak bug. I still think we're going to be okay. So let's eat a shell. And a shell. And then we'll dredge a Stinkweed Imp. Narcomoeba and a chill is really quite tasty. Our opponent's conceded. Cool. More bug matches. Not the dream. So let's try and sideboard slightly differently this time. I'm going to bring in all the shoals. I'm going to drop all the blue stuff. Apart from Misstep. I'm going to bring in 3 shoals and drop all the blue stuff. Apart from Misstep. Let's see if this is better. A bit more of like a John Dee approach. One thing with our first bug matchup there is we didn't draw a Vigor, right? At no point in the post-board games did we put Vigor on the stack. And that's quite a big issue. If you're going to play against people who have Leyline on 0 every game. So let's ship this away. And this can go 2, we're down to 5. We've got a Bazaar, we've got 2 Noxes. Noxeye. We've got some Waste as well, so that's quite cool. So let's see if we can do anything with this. Probably not, looking at that. Yeah, so Leyline on 7 by into Deathrite Shaman. Cool story. How to play. I think we play by wasting them. And the opponent's got a Verdant. So I like my cards, right? My cards look really good. I'll let them do that. I'm not too fussed on that front. They DT for something new. Probably Ancestral. One would imagine. I'm going to kill their Deathrite Shaman. And now I'm going to strip mine their Underground Sea. and hope that they don't really have much to do. They've only got 4 cards, right? One of them is the Ancestral. So just see Ancestral. Okay, they went for something else. Cool. We tried to mana screw our opponent, and it did not work. Okay. We were right. Let's give our Bazaar an activation then. Already didn't do anything. Let's do the ones in the middle. And then we'll pass. Opponent has a strip mine. So we'll take our turn, see if we draw a Vigor, and if we don't, we'll just go to the next one, I think. We drew a Grief, so let's see if we can get some sideboard info out of them. So Grief is going to resolve. Grief finds Oko, Leyline, Dig, Fluster, Vigor. Cool. Cool. Do we want to change anything though? Probably not. We could bring in Leylines to absolutely body their death rates. I don't think that's realistic. I think this looks fine. I think it's like a slightly more experimental way of mulliganing. We've got a Bazaar, we've got a green card. Once again, we need to find our Vigors. Opponent mulligans to 6. 5. So yeah, this is just that, like, they're just like really not entertaining the idea of playing a game without a Leyline in play. But in this spot, we do actually have an answer for a death right. We've got a bit of discard equity because we started on 7, and we've got the second Bazaar to beat Wasteland with. Especially where they're going super low on resources, right? They're down to 5, they found a Leyline. Cool. But we can start on Bazaar because we can discard Ichorid, Chill, and Powder very easily here. There is the Vigor. I think I'll go with Narcomy Believing instead of my Ichorid. And now we just chill until we find a Grief, I imagine. Hollow one. So activate, discarding the 2 we draw. Plus the Ichorid to cast Hollow one. And it's over to the opponent. Holding Bazaar just in case they don't ever Wasteland us, and we need a bit of discardy. They Wasteland us. I think that's fine. Oh no, they don't Wasteland us, they fetch. I'm going to misstep the Deathrite Shaman. So the big tank here just confirms the Force of Will. That is the entire reason I haven't put the Vigor on the stack just yet. They're going to Wasteland me with 3 cards in hand. And how much can I do here? I can always just try and Vigor them. And if it works, we're golden. And if it doesn't work, we're on the Hollow one. I mean, we're already on the Hollow one, right? So we may as well just go now and try that. They're tapped out. They can't fluster it. They need Force of Will. They've got Force of Will, which I assumed, but maybe I was supposed to play differently. That's a nice follow-up there, though. We can't do that this turn. We'll get him for 4, pray for no tab. Mox Jet. And Air. Let's get in our 4 points first, and then we can run into their Bowmaster. So 1 Vigor clears us out quite decently here. No point in flipping at the moment. Like, our cards don't do anything. It's not like Squee where we can put things into exile. Opponent drops to 2. They need to find a Tabernacle. They find an Ancestral. Which isn't good. They find a Strip Mine, which doesn't matter. And they find Walk as well. It looks like it, otherwise they wouldn't be playing anymore, right? They've got to have Time Walk. Treasure Cruise, but you've already played a land. Yeah, cool. So we do sneak one out against Bug, which is cool. Turns out the difference is just putting Force of Vigor on the stack, even if it doesn't resolve. Right, off to round 5 then. Okay, 5th and final round for that. Not really coveted, but somewhat decent 4-1. This is a mulligan. I don't know why I had to think, actually. As I said, Saturday morning leagues, not optimal brain power time. So we're just going to move a lot of the cards out of our deck quickly. Keep a powder, keep a hollow one. And powder away this nonsense. Keeping some dredges in our deck, I guess. And then a misstep. Exile these ones. Well, this has gone well. And we'll keep this. Bottoming 2 griefs. I appreciate Chalice isn't great on the draw, but it is still a card that has potentially a text box. Oh, no. Okay. It has less than a text box. Oh, that's a cool draw. I'll race you, homie. Let's not show them how good their bauble really was. Let's slow roll the hollow one for a moment. So pray for no wastelands. Actually, this could work out in our favour, yeah. If they do that, exactly. And we'll be like guaranteed a hollow one next turn unless they redeploy another bauble. What are they on then? Jewel? Walk, okay. Salga goes off without deploying a token. Probably gets a second bauble then, I guess. To like confirm that I can't bauble them. Or maybe Lotus for 1 ring, Mana Vault for 1 ring. Nothing. Mana gets Mana Vault passes. Kind of wild. Let's dredge our Stinkweed Imp on our draw step so that we can play a Bazaar and get a hollow one sort of thing. And just do it all. Yes, please. We didn't hit a dredger. Very sad. That could actually be kind of fucked. No, I think I'm still just going to go for absolutely all of it as fast as I can. This might be awful. It might have been better to hold negation there. All the Stinkweed Imps all the time. 9 your face. One Ichorid though. So we need to find the other chill. The other chill's in my graveyard already, so we can't do that. That did go well, but I don't know if it would... Oh, no, it did go really well. Sorry, my apologies. I do wonder, though. I think that's really close in that spot where we've mulliganed low, right? They've got quite an anemic hand. They've not really achieved anything other than putting a Mana Vault into play. Like, am I supposed to just hold up negation Narc? Because if I negate the One Ring or the Coveted Jewel or whatever, then their Mana Vault's tapped, their mana's used, and they're dead into my one Bazaar anyway. I don't know. Two Bazaars is hard to give up though. Bring in some Vigors. I can't Sickening Shoal a Worm Coil Engine, so I won't try to. And we'll just give it a cheeky trim across the board again. Misstep's good because of the Borb. Revival, I don't want to trim too many, but I will trim a few. And then we'll drop a Grief on the draw. Maybe we'll drop 2 Griefs on the draw. So Jewel versus Dredge is usually quite tough for us because they are faster. It's got a bit tougher now that we can't cast our spells through a bauble. And that kind of means that we usually have to keep 2 pieces of interaction. Right, one to counter the bauble, one to counter the bauble, and then one to counter the payoff. 2 Bazaars again though, so it could be worse. I'm gonna let that go. If they put the bauble on the stack, then it will die. But Lotus Petal. So this is just a whole lot of nonsense. Let's see if they've got a Force of Will. Stone Rain you, kill your Lantern. Discuss. Very, very little discussion actually took place. So our opponent's got a Petal and 3 cards, so that's going to put us in like a pretty good spot here. I will present them all of my game pieces though, so if they've got a second Soul Guide, then that's cool for them. Yeah, well, figure your hate piece. So, tap land, not the way to go about it traditionally in the vintage format, and they've just conceded the match there. So, 4-1 with like, I don't know, this AI Dredge list, right? I don't know, it's a really weird list, to me, at least, because you've got so many other tools that you can use which have great equity elsewhere. And they've not even gone as deep as putting the Silver Smokes back in. Not deep, but they've not put the Silver Smokes back in. They've just 4x'd everything. So I guess it's like greater interaction against Jewel and Doomsday. A very medium clock. You're still going to overpower a lot of the Saga decks without too much stress pre-board. But it's one of those things where at the moment we're playing the Dredge list just, I don't know, yeah, face first into Vexing Bauble. Which is certainly a take. When I've got more time on my hands, I plan on doing some sort of mana Dredge list. I'm not sure how that's going to work at the moment, but just, I feel like with some green lands, like Boseijus, right? Boseijus and forests, and maybe not basic forest, but some green sources. We can maybe cut some shells or something, or some thugs, and make them some life from the loams, and then we can slowly engine our way through by repeatedly disenchanting our dual opponents. I don't know if that's actually a thing that will work. I'm not sure how we get the blue count in that list, or if it's a list where we kind of need to come off of Ichorids. But it's on my mind to try when time allows. Anyway, thanks for watching today, and I'll see you next time with some more vintage